So here we are firstly concentrating on the number of symbols and notations that used in Java. So first notation we are discussing here is a semicolon. So in Java programming we are using semicolon. So this is the notation for semicolon. Why we use semicolon in Java programming? So this semicolon indicate that statement is end. For example, simply consider example. Here I am written one data type having int family, that is int a is equal to 40, and after that here we provided semicolon. So what is the meaning of this semicolon? What is the meaning of this semicolon? This semicolon simply indicate that int a is equal to 40 is a complete statement and that statement is end. Oh, okay. So here we put up here a semicolon. Okay. So next symbol we are discussing here is a parenthesis. So this parenthesis is always available with a method or with a constructor. So its symbol just available on a keyboard of our machine. What is the use of this? We can pass arguments and parameterization by using this symbol. Suppose for any method I have need to pass some data type. In that case, inside this parenthesis we can pass the data for that method. Consider example. Simply here one method, that is method name is 123. After that method we put here parenthesis as per the Java syntax. Suppose my use or my aim is to pass a parameter for that method. Simply inside this we can pass a parameter string a comma int b. Okay, so it is a basic use of this parenthesis. So it is called as the parameterization. Such kind of method is called as parameterized method. Okay. So next symbol here we are discussing is open and close curly braces. Open and close curly braces. Again this symbol is available on keyboard of our machine. So inside these open and close curly braces we are providing the logic or code that we have to be implemented. So these open and close curly braces is always with a Java class or with a method and is with a conditional statement. Okay. Just consider an example. Here a test one is a Java class and these open and close curly braces indicate the class body. Any class, Java class, that always with this open and close curly braces. Always observe previous example method. This method is always with open and close curly braces. If any method is along with open and close curly braces, that method is also called as implemented method. Okay, so these are the benefit of open and close curly braces. We are discussing here that is comments in Java. What is the use of comments? Suppose we have a code inside a Java program and my purpose that code is hide from Java. Simply put 2 forward slashes before that code or that logic. Java doesn't consider that code. Okay, in such a way that we can use comment. This comment having two types, single line comments and second one is a multi-line comments. Okay, so first one is a single line comment. Okay, so notation is 2 forward slashes. We have to provide 2 forward slashes before the code or before the starting of that logic or statement. Example, we can observe example by using practical way. Second type is multi-line comments. We can, if we have the multiple line in a code and our purpose to hide that line or that code from Java, in that case we can use multiple line code. So what happens if instead of this, if we are using these two forward slash, what happens? It also permitted, but we need to provide each and every line two forward slashes. Okay, instead of that we can just follow this single forward slash star whatever the code, and at the end of this code star and again forward slash. Okay, we can use for multiple line. So these all are the symbol and notation that always we are using in a Java. So consider practically. Suppose here we have a Java class. It is simply a Java class having name, employee number, open and close curly braces. Inside these curly braces we are providing logic, code or program that we need. This one is known as the class body. Inside a class we have to provide object or variable or field or constructor. So here we have a method. Main method is given here. It's a main method, public static void main. Again, this main method is always along with method body, open and close curly braces. So consider this variable. It is a static variable with static keyword. At the end of this static keyword or static variable, we provided here semicolon. What happens if we don't given any semicolon? Java shows us error. What is that error? Semicolon, insert semicolon to complete class body declaration. Hence we need to provide semicolon. Here again we can observe that it is and Java method that we used for printing purpose. Here again there is semicolons available. Okay, is the use of semicolon. And again we can observe here we are using these open and close curly braces. So here again we can see that parenthesis. Inside parenthesis there is string, array, arguments available. Here we can generate a user defined method, public void add to number is a method name. I am given here parenthesis and open and close curly braces. So again observe here at the end of method, here we are used this parenthesis. So what is the use of this parenthesis? That we already discussed. We can pass parameter for that method. Suppose I have to be pass here string yes and byte b. We can pass by using this parenthesis. Okay, this all about the symbols used in Java. And lastly we have comments. Suppose my purpose is to hide this variable from Java or from execution. Simply put here two forward slashes. The color of that code is turned to green. Means that Java doesn't consider this code. Okay, if we have multi-line code available here, suppose here we have also one variable available, boolean b. Again we have here string name is equal to data. Just considering examples here. Okay, so my purpose to hide these three statements from Java. My purpose, Java doesn't consider these three statements from execution. Okay, simply provide here two forward slashes before each statement. Okay, or use another type of comments. Simply single forward slash star, and at the end of that we are providing again here star and single forward slash. What happens? In a minimum time we can complete this action. It's the main difference between the single and multi-line commit. Whatever the things that we need to provide here, we can provide here. Okay, that is the benefit of comments in Java. Suppose here I want to give some meaningful message with this main method. We can simply type here, this is an main method. Okay, if I simply type here, Java shows us error. Why? Java treat this statement as a code. But my purpose, Java doesn't consider this line. Okay, hence simply put here 2 forward slashes. Okay, it's a benefit of comment in Java. So here we discussed all the symbol that used in a Java. We forward here towards our next topic, that is a class. Here we are not discussing about what is a class. Here we are only considering what is the syntax of an class. What is the syntax of an class? So this is a syntax of a class given by Java. What is that syntax? Access modifier, then class keyword, then class name, and again here open and close curly braces. This is nothing but the class body. Whatever the logic, code, program we need, we provide inside a class body or inside a class. It is a Java class syntax given by Java. So here we are considering the example. Before that, we know that we have the 4 types of access modifier with us. Which are these? Public, private, protected, default. We can use any access modifier. What is syntax? Access modifier, class, class name, and class body. So in that place, access modifier, we can use any access modifier. There is no restriction. So when to use private, why we are going to use public, what is the benefit by using protected? That topic we are not discussing right now. Only take in consideration that we have 4 access modifier and we can use any access modifier for a Java class. So consider example. Simply access modifier. Here I am selected public as access modifier for this class. Then class keyword. Here class keyword. Then class name. I am given here class name as a demo test. Simply observe here D and T is capital as given by Java. Here C and N is capital. Again the class keyword initial C is small. Here I am used like with that. C is small. It is a Java class. Public as access modifier, class keyword and class name. Okay, so here I am highlighting some point by using note. So first note, here we can mention that we can give any class name. Suppose my purpose to use another class name. We can give any class name. Suppose here we can give test1 as a class name. Here we can give demo23 as a class name. Here we can give student data as a class name. No restriction. But we cannot use Java reserved keyword as a class name. We cannot use Java reserved keyword as a class name, and also we cannot use a special character as a class name. So which are the special character or which are these Java reserved keyword? These are the Java reserved keyword. We cannot use here as a class name. What happens if we used here? So as we know that the initial letter of this class and n is capital, no doubt we can use here. Okay, but what happens, these if we use these reserve keyword, then it got confusion for our senior person or for our manager or our colleague also. So keep in mind that don't use Java reserve keyword as class name or as a method name or as a variable name. Okay, we can use any here class name. It is a syntax for and class, and again we discuss regarding these here. So first topic, we can use any name as a class name. Okay, that mention here in note, we can give any class name except Java reserved keyword and special characters. Then second note, we can highlight it here as, so just imagine here or just observe here, class name, this C and N is capital. Similar way we are used here class name as D and N, D and T is capital. It means that each word having its first letter is always capital. Suppose we have need to provide class name as student data number. You can simply observe that each word initial letter I have taken here capital. S, D, N capital as per the Java requirement. Okay. In this C and N capital means each word initial letter capital. Next we can concentrate on this keyword, that is a class keyword. This initial letter of this class keyword C is small. C is small. Okay. Then lastly, access modifier. We have 4 access modifier. Suppose if we don't give here any access modifier, what happens? Java treat or consider default as access modifier for that class. If we don't give any access modifier, Java consider default as an access modifier. Keep in mind that. Hence, we are using this syntax strictly. Okay, this all about a Java class. So come here, practically simply right click on any package. From that we have ABC package name, right click, then new, we have created a new class. So this facility is given by Eclipse. If we have Eclipse with us, there is no need of typing each and everything. Inside this window we can provide our data. So here this text field, inside this text field we need to pass the class name. As I told you that if we use Java reserved keyword as a class name, what happens? Suppose do is a Java reserved keyword. Okay, so here if we use capital D is permitted, but if you want a good tester or if you want a good developer, don't use Java reserved keyword as we want. Okay, give any name. Suppose here we giving demo12. Simple observe here, create a new Java class. If we take this initial letter small, what give instruction here? Type name is discouraged by convention. Java type names usually start with an uppercase letter. Okay, so here we need to provide in uppercase initial letter, demo data. Okay, so here just click on finish. So here we got our demo data as Java class. So this Java class with a class body is given here. If we delete any braces, we got error. Insert close curly bracket to complete class body. Okay, we need class body always. Whatever the things we need to provide, that things means logic, method or variable or constructor, we are always giving inside a class body, or inside these curly braces. Suppose if I am given anything outside of a class, int a is equal to 56 semicolon, Java shows us error. If I am simply copying it, Control X and paste here inside this, Java doesn't show error. It means that whatever the things we need to provide, we need to give inside a class body. So next topic is methods in Java. So we have mainly two types of method in Java. So right now we are discussing only the syntax of that method. We are not considering here the theoretical part of that method and the logic of that method. So we are only concentrating on the syntax and main types of that method. So first we have discussing regarding user defined method or implemented method. User defined method or implemented method. So here consider the syntax for user defined method. This syntax is given by Java. So first here access modifier, then return type, and then method name. After method name there is parenthesis. We can pass or we can enter the data as we want by using this parenthesis. Again, each and every method is always with a method body. Always with a method body that is given by these open and close curly braces. What is the logic, code, program we easily provide inside this method body. And what is the location of this method? So any method is always inside a Java class. Inside a Java class. It is a part of a class. Keep in mind. So access modifier, we know that we have 4 access modifier, that is public, private, protected and default. We can use any access modifier. Then what about return type? What is the meaning of return type? So we have mainly 3 types of return here, that is void and primitive data type, and lastly non-primitive data type. Again we can return class and object, but right now don't consider this, only concentrate on we have void and that data type as a return type. Okay. So if we use return type as primitive or non-primitive, what happens? We need to provide a return statement inside this method body. Inside this method body. If we use the void as a return type, then we don't need to provide anything here, or don't need to return anything. So consider example. We can use here any return type. Public access modifier we used here, then void as a return type, and method name is addition of 2 numbers, then parenthesis, and then open and close curly braces. We construct this method, we designed this method as per the syntax of Java. What is the first line? Access modifier. We used as here public as access modifier. We can use any access modifier here. We have totally 4 access modifier. We can use any access modifier here. We can use private as access modifier. Return type void. If void, there is no need to return anything. Okay. Then method name, we can give any method name. Exclude only the Java reserved keyword. Okay. Here we can give any method name. Suppose here I am providing Pune city as a method name. Just observe here, P initial letter is small and C initial letter is capital as per the Java syntax. Method name M small and N capital means that first word each letter small then each word first letter capital. We followed as per the Java. Then parenthesis, here we can pass parameter. Here we can pass parameter. Byte b, comma, int d. We can pass any parameter inside this parenthesis. Okay. So if we use void as a return type, we get such kind of example here. Suppose if my purpose is to use primitive or non-primitive data type, what happens? Let's discuss here. Suppose here I am used int as a return type. Hence, inside a method body, I need to return that value. Suppose 20 here, semicolon. So if we use data type as a return type, in that case we need to return that value. Suppose instead of string I am returning here, instead of int I am returning here string. Private string unicity. So here I need to provide the value of that string. Here I am passing city. Okay. So right now only consider here void as a return type. When we start actually learning access modifier and return type, then we discuss each and everything in details. Okay. If void available, there is no need to be written anything. So it is the syntax for a method having name user defined method. So who is the user? We are the user. We can design, we can modify a method as per our requirement. Okay. So just here I am highlighting some point again here. Note, as we discussed here, we can give any method name except Java reserved keyword and special character. Then return type is must in a method. Some people ask a question, if we are not use a return type here, is this method? No, it is not a method. The return type is always with a method. If there is no method return type, and if we use method name as a class name, then that is a constructor part. Don't think about that here now. Only consider void or anything return type is must for a method. Okay. Next point. After a method name, there must be parenthesis. These parentheses. Each and every method having parenthesis. If you consider implemented or unimplemented method always with parenthesis, keep in mind. Some people forgot to use parenthesis here. Again, some people always forgot to use these curly braces. What is the meaning of this? It is a method body because that curly braces is associated with this method. Okay. Then inside this parenthesis we are providing the argument, or we can pass the data as we discussed earlier. Okay. So here I am simply representing that here protected is the access modifier, void is a return type, and database as a method name. These are, or this area belongs to a method body. Okay. So then we are considering the another type of a method. It's very important method in Java, having name main method in Java. So it is not a user defined method. This method having name as main, and this method is given by Java. So here I am writing this method here, public static void main. This p is always small. P later is small here. Consider this always. Public static void main. Inside parenthesis string. This symbol represent array and arguments, and then these braces. It is the main method of body. Okay. So some people ask that, can we use here another SS modifier? No, there is no need to use any other SS modifier here. Okay, so this method is given by Java. So here don't think on what is a static, what is a main, and what is the meaning of this. In another session we are discussing each and everything, but only keep in mind that we have a method having name main. Inside a Java class there is a main method. Okay. So my first question here, why we need a main method? It is a main method, but each method is required in a Java class? Yes. Why we need a main method in Java class? Because in order to execute a Java class, we need main method. We need this main method. If there is no main method available in a Java class, that class doesn't execute. Java gives us error. The main method is not available. Hence, in order to execute a Java program, we need this main method. Then, what about the priority of execution? So, Java always start executing the program from the first line of a main method. If there is no main method, that program doesn't get executed. If main method is available, so Java start executing this program from first line of a main method. So it is a first line of main method. Java focuses on first line. After the finishing of first line, from left to right, Java focus from left to right. Then Java proceed for the next line. Again from left to right. Again from left to right. Okay. So execution priority is always start from the first line of a main method and end at the last line of a main method. Keep in mind. Okay. So these 2 points are IMP regarding a main method. So again, I have one question. If there is no main method, is this Java class get executed? Yes. Answer is yes. But there must be a static block available inside a class. But Java execute that static block. And again shows error. The main method is not available. So whatever the point we discussed here, written here inside a question answer. So it is a static block. Observe here, inside this static block. Java class, this only static block is executed if there is no main method. And then Java gives error, the main method is unavailable. So main method is essential inside a Java class. Okay. So observe practically. Suppose consider here one Java class. It is a Java class with a main method. Static int a is equal to 90. Just consider simple example. Static, that is a static variable. Int type 90 is a value for that variable. So my purpose to execute this Java class. Suppose there is no main method available. there is no main method available, and I am giving instruction to run this Java program. Read this console. Exception in thread main Java lang error. Okay, it means that main method is not available there. So we need to provide main method inside a Java class. And if we execute this program, what happens? Program get executed, but where is the output? Where is the output? There is no output. Why? Because we know that execution priority always start from the first line of a main method. We don't give anything inside a main method. Okay, so we need to provide anything inside a main method, then Java start executing. Okay, so here I am giving simply one variable for result. A. What I am given here? Simply give me output or print that output in the next line. Variable A is given here, that is above variable here. Okay, it is a static block and main method is also static. Okay, we executing this. We get simple output as a 90. It is the use of main method. Suppose we are learning here the priority of a main method. Again I am giving here okay, just here printing one line. The first line gives output and second line that gives a statement, that is second line. Okay, so here we are only considering what is the execution priority, which line get first executed, these or these. Okay, so here we are changing the value. Just click on run button. You can simply observe that the first line is firstly executed by Java interpreter, that is we get output 9098, that is above. Then second line what is given here, where we are given in double quote, it print as it is second line. You can simply observe here second line. It means that Java always start execution priority from the first line of a main method. Execute this first line, then it proceed to the next line. Suppose if I change the sequence of that line, what happens? Just simple observe here. So what output we get? First we get this statement, that is second line, and then we get the value for variable A. Okay, see here in console second line and then this value. It means that execution always start from a main method first line, then it proceed to the last point of a close curly braces. So here we are discussing the last point from this session, that is what is the location of class and method in Java. Already we learn about that during examples. So any method is always inside a class. Suppose there is implemented method, or there is a main method and there is user defined method. Currently we have two types of method with us. First one user defined and second one main method. So what is the sequence of this method that doesn't affect on a class? What is the sequence that doesn't affect on a class? I'm here writing simple two method. Practically we can learn this. It is a main method. Here I am writing another method, that is user defined method, void data. So it is a user defined method as we define it, as we design it as per our requirement. Just consider it. It is a user defined method and it is a main method. We know that main method is essential, and we put here one user defined method. Then what about the execution priority? The sequence of any method or sequence of any variable doesn't affect on a Java class. Keep in mind, whatever the things that available outside a main method, because Java only focus on a main method. Java only focus on a main method. We have to be provide everything inside a main method. Then Java proceed towards another method or towards another point. Keep in mind. Hence any sequence doesn't affect on a class. Suppose this user defined method available at the end in a class. There is nothing to happen with Java class. Okay, because Java always focus on a main method. It means that sequence doesn't affect on a Java class. In any method, it may be main or it may be user defined, it may be unimplemented user defined. Any sequence, Java class doesn't worry about that. Always focus on a main method. Main method is always essential for us. This syntax for main method: public, p small, static, s small, void, main, string, array symbol, and arguments. That is a main method with this curly braces. Okay, so whatever the things we learn up till now is just a introductory part. Just a introductory part. When we start our actual session from a data type and variable, then each and everything that we learn up till now, that comes in picture. We not taken any kind of practical example here for Java. We just considered and observed each and everything for a Java class. Right now we are familiar about what is syntax for class, what is syntax for a method, some kind of things that we are learning here right now. When we start actual session, then in detailed way we are learning each and everything. It's only a theoretical type part, keep in mind that. But this theory is also important, because without knowing the syntax of method or a class, we cannot design a class or method. So here firstly we are considered number of theoretical part. Okay, so just here we are stopped today. Thank you.